Hello guys and welcome everyone to today's edition of Le Mans Ultimate. Guys, welcome to a very special stream because it is update preview day here on Le Mans Ultimate. The new update dropping tomorrow, the June update or DLC pack 5, call it whatever you want, but it is a big one and it is an important one for Le Mans Ultimate. We've already spoken about it a couple of times on my YouTube channel in various news videos, various update videos. When the stream is done, I'll note them down in the description so you can see what this is all about, what I'm talking about here. But today we're going to explore a couple of new things, a couple of new features here on Le Mans Ultimate. And I thought about this as like what might be the most interest point to start with. And I think it's going to be on the GT3 cars, yes, on the new content, yes, on the new tire model, yes, on the new cars, but I think we're gonna go a bit more deep into the tire model towards the mid of the stream, because we're going to do a comparison. You guys may remember the Corvette GT3 when we raced it back in Interlagos last time, and it was a pretty damn hard machine to be raced on. However, back in the day we have been drifting a lot, something that you should or must not do on the new tires at all, hopefully. We're about to find out. We are obviously going into the Lusail International Circuit and we're going to run the Lexus first. The Lexus likely to be one of the people's favorite car to race, really, right? So that is what we're going to dive into. I keep a small little practice session here on the heavy rubber, where we're going to be driving a bit in the day, just a couple of laps really to get used to the car, and then we're gonna jump into a night race. 30 minutes. I may even shorten that. Let's see. We're gonna start at the very back, no qualifying, so we have a little bit of fun overtaking. For that reason, I should check that the AI is set correctly. Bear with me. AI advanced 97%, that's fine, so that we have a good raceability there. Anyway, guys, are you looking forwards to the update, and what is your expectations? I'm really curious. No, please try the Porsche GT3. Sully said we will try the Porsche GT3. I know there have been rumors about its drivability in the long run, so we are checking. Assuming by the title you've got early access to the update. Yes, Daniel, I do have, and a big shout out and a big massive thank you to Studio 397 allowing us to do a little bit of pre-release content here. Really appreciating the opportunity, and I hope I can give a value added to all the other customers as we are in Qatar. Guys, nothing too crazy. We start on the setup with, I'll just pick standard setup, and I think for the moment it's just go out, and then we are probably seeing quick what the new tires is all about, and especially also how the GT3, how the new Lexus is to be raced. Anyway, here we go, having a McLaren ahead. So, cold tires obviously is a thing. And this is the new tire for you straight away. Bonk, straight into the barrier. Here we go. Yanni made the update look good, so you hope I don't break it. Well, I'm doing my utmost not to break it, so here we need a little bit more of fiddling in with this new tire. What is new on this tire? And apart from Stephen Hood, we haven't seen that many things on the new tires yet, but it is for sure that you really need to make up your mind about how you're driving the car, about how much you're pushing, about how much you're turning the steering wheel, and most importantly about how aggressive you're putting your setup. As you can see now, traction control is 6, 6 and 11, which is quite a lot, right? There's this a really high setting here, and you see the front is a bit lazy. But most importantly, when you turn into the turn, the rear is not stepping out, or the rear is rather staying stable, so it's following the front in a very good fashion here. I am not. Yes, we do have the F1 type of curbs here in Lusail. But be aware though, as much as this looks just being simple driving, you've seen in turn 1 on the exit what happens if you're just getting it wrong. And of course, because the traction control has been set pretty high, I'm gonna now lower it, especially on the slip angle a bit. And then you'll see what the new tire model is being able to do in full force shortly. So we keep the Ford Mustang at bay here for the moment. And go for our first lap as the Mustang goes for a move. So, a couple of people have already questioned whether this DLC is free or not, and the DLC obviously this time is not free. It marks pack 5 out of the 2024 content, so if you got the season pass, and here we had a little bit of a rear slide moment, if you got the 2024 season pass, this is included. If not, then DLC pack 5 comes with paid content only, or the update doesn't give any free updates. Let's probably say it like this. Right, something else that is interesting with this new tire, or also with the way the GT3s are driving now. They are very pitch sensitive on the aerodynamics, which means when going into a turn, into a drail braking zone, you shall be aware with the brakes and what you do, as I can hopefully showcase in one of the fast corners in a moment. Will also satisfy the Camaro, the Mustang AI behind me in a moment, because you can pretty easily lose the rear of the car when you're going too aggressively into a turn. Hard on the brakes, and we have a full ABS now, which is probably what you won't use at all the time. So the car stays stable at all times, no matter what you do on the ABS, which is pretty nice. However, for the race pace conditions, it's probably going to be a bit slow. So we put this down to 6 or 7, just about the upper range of the balance. Of course, I can't hit the 6 because that box button is slowly giving up on me. So we put it to 6, and then we see what happens next time. And then we speak obviously also about the track, but first we hit the brakes, and there you see the car, round it goes, and you have hardly any chance to catch it. And that is because we now have a new great tire model. And after that spin, we're gonna look onto the tire, and I quickly gonna go into this mode right now. You see in the bottom left 88%. I can tell you I've only used 1.4% of the tire in my last lap, which means after coming out of the pits, doing a little slide, doing a full lap without a slide, 1.4, let's say we should at best be at 96, and at the end of this lap at 94, but we're already sitting at 88% because I'm gonna do this on purpose now. Let's spin the car, there we go. Look how quickly the tire is going down. Not in the gravel though, of course. In the gravel, hardly any grip anyway, which is a bit of a challenge to get out. But most importantly, and we're gonna keep spinning here on the tarmac a bit. Look how quickly the tire is going down on the rear. So be aware of your next 360 when you're like, oh, I quickly spun and turn around with a burnout. Also, I have ABS back on again, no button pressed. See how little grip there is with the rear. Oh, it makes donuts easier for sure, but this is not the main point. Anyway, I will show you something more which is very interesting indeed about this new tire model, and also about how Le Mans Ultimate will work globally now. So, as we have pretty much screwed up this tire, right? This will be an interesting one actually to make it to the pits. We are trying to do this in a good fashion now. We box, and we're going to change all 4 tires to a new medium. And you will notice something very interesting there, as I will keep here on. Whoop. Yeah, tire is undrivable, but I still need to do it back to the pits because otherwise I can't show you what I want to show. But generally speaking, we're speaking about a new tire model here. This is insane. This is phenomenal. Yes, obviously the tire is cooling down now. You can also see it. The surface temperature has already come down. The core temperature is still coming down. And I should really pay maximum attention on that redraft. Come on. Another one. 2 more. Here we go. So this is pretty much well done. So you see I've destroyed the rear tires completely, which obviously makes sense. If you do this in real life, tires are dead, aren't they? So they still give you a little bit amount of grip. Obviously now as the rear tire temperature is still in... Oh, hang on a minute. I need the box. So here we go. As the tire temperature is still pretty much too high, this makes total sense how this tire behaves. Right. Important for you now, and I'm gonna pause this before I come to a full hold into the pit road. I would like you guys to note down. We have 80 degrees on the front left. We do have 133 on the rears. And when we get a fresh tire, this turns to 18. So 18 is the temperature you get fresh tires with. Now, what we're going to do, and this will be pretty insane, that is also a new milestone in sim racing, what we have seen and what we will see. I'm trying to do a normal lap now, and then I'm not selecting new mediums, I select our used mediums. And you guys can probably already see what I'm talking about. Artemis, for the moment I want to have it like this, because you shall be watching crystal clear what the tire temps and what the tire wear is looking like as we are doing a normal lap, hopefully without any spinal lap. And then you see also that the tire doesn't wear that drastically if you drive a tire like a tire is supposed to be driven, right? And then later on, obviously, we speak about the track. We will speak more about the track when we are pitting in the Lambo, but I thought I was gonna straight away start with a couple of interesting things here. Which indeed is the way tires are behaving. And I have to admit, before we go out for further testing, we need to do a small amount of setup adjustments, as the setup is very understeery and needs to be a bit more aggressive for pace reasons. However, you can see on the tire side, if you're driving normally, not spin and sliding around, you'll have nominal wear, right? You really have the wear around 1.5 to 2% on a lap. Driving this on the limits. And we're coming back to pit road now to get on the old tires. And you guys remember we had 80 degrees on the front left and we had 133 degrees on the rear left. So as we're coming back to the pit, we'll see what they will have now. Penalties incoming for that one. So we used the the used medium. Coming to the pits. MD, there is a new curb sound indeed. Anyway, we're going to speak about the curb sound in a moment, as we're parking for a fresh set of used tires and see what that temperature is like. 54.4 degrees, 90.6 degrees. So they've become cooler in the last 2 minutes when I have not been racing. But what that means for us in the free practice is literally, when we're speaking about balance, when we're speaking about testing performance, when we press escape, we will come to the pits in hot tire condition. If we do our setup clicks in 30 to 60 seconds, we can go out and straight the first lap after, tires going to be on temperature again, because they'll be keeping there. We are checking this also when we now come to return to garage, and we are putting on the new tires that we've had, which is the 81% tires, 98% tires. Yeah, I'm aware about the sounds. I hear it myself, but I can't see where it's coming from. Because I have never ever changed something here. Maybe I can increase the master volume a bit and then things are a bit better, I hope. Erki Casavelli, thank you very much for the sub. Much appreciated. Welcome to the stream. Okay, so I've selected the tires. Now I want to make the car a bit more rotating. I go a little less with the ARB, with the wing. I go a bit stiffer with the ARB. On the suspension, 2 clicks up, 1 click on the spring rate, and that shall be it. So we're now coming back into the car, and we still have 40 degrees on the tire. So we've only lost about 10 degrees since pitting, and now we go for a little bit more testing and performance evaluation. Is the game sound better now? I hope. Oops. Yeah, damn it. Nicely spun the fresh, well, still kind of fresh tire. Simpanza TV, thank you very much for joining. So we now obviously need to get them up to temperature to like 80-90 degrees. And now we can speak about driving them in a quick way. It's too loud now. Copy. Thankfully we have a nice feature here so we can change it on the fly. Let's put it back to 40. Let me know about that, please. Oh, it's about the gaps. Of course, I thought I would forget something, right? El Plan. Oops. We move El Plan down here. Much better, right? Perfect. Thank you so much. Okay, perfect. Since the audio is also fixed, we can now come back to the tire itself. I'm trying to go a bit more pushy with the tire itself. The cold tire spin, you've just seen it. The front was gripping, the rear wasn't there at all. And now we're trying to, yeah, go a bit faster in general. I will actually need to move camera a bit more forward still so that I can see left-hand apexes. Generally speaking, what to say about this tire is that it feels understeery at first sight, but be aware of the spins and of the slides that the rear tire can produce, because the rear tire load is so sensitive now, and you've seen it. I was sliding into the penultimate of these corners, and you get like half a second to correct your mistake. You become like half a second of time of margin where you're like, oh yeah, you're in a slide, you have time to correct it. So this is the time where you can catch it, and I think this is a pretty long amount of time still where you are able to do something about the upcoming spin. But if you fail to do it in the meanwhile, then you're dead. Then this happens. And then there's no chance you can keep it. So, as you've seen, the car was in the slide, and we can have a look at it from a replay POV. So it is about here that the car is in the slide, and you see my steering was still neutral. Yeah, still neutral. Oh, still to the right, to the right, to the right. This is where the slide happens. And this is where I react on it, which was simply way too late. And if I do that in perfection, ideally, I get it done in time. Getting out of the instant replay, getting the control back. No, you can't abuse the rear at all. There is occasions where you can pretty much flick it on point, but you can't replicate that. For sure not. Like you've seen, the car just went in the middle of the corner. So what you really have to do is you really have to drive carefully. And what I said earlier on, especially here, you see the pitch sensitivity, 2 times tapping on the brakes, that gets all the way to the front. That gets also the downforce on the front further up, because the car's pitching down, the rake is going to be increased for the period of the braking zone. And that will get you into trouble regarding the rotation. Also, you can't Scandi flick it in low speed turns, as we've seen. Despite all the aero map stuff is going on. And trail braking is for sure a bit more tricky. However, drivability itself is great. The tire is extremely responsive. It is really communicating well what is the car balance doing. And that is everything you need to have in order to drive this car fast, right? Marauder, we will check about the Porsche later on, add it to the plan later on in between somewhere. Is there a specific track where I should bring out the Porsche MD? Please do a track selection vote on the YouTube channel. You saw this is how much margin you get to catch a slide. Porsche G, and this is what happens if you don't get it caught. Francesco, they have changed and worked on this tire model for ages. This is nothing that you usually just simply deploy on a continent and off you go. It takes time to adapt that, and for that reason is more than respectable that it's only for GT3s. You cannot do polls on YouTube, so I'm gonna do it myself real quick. Which tracks are you guys interested? Give me some ideas, please, and then I will hook it up. And yes, of course, the hypercars will get it at some point as well. Yeah, this is how you can save the tire from giving up on the rear. Lexus feels like a heavy boat. Very iconic sound though. But for the sound reasons, I can't wait to drive the Lambo. And I think most tricky the car gets in high to mid speed turns. This is where the GT3s will be hard to drive. And of course, shout out to HC Dizzy. Thank you so much with a raid with a party of 255. Hello there and welcome. How was your stream? Have you been on the more ultimate update as well? Or are you still recovering from the Nürburgring 24? Mitrovsky, what about the pop? Twiggy, shots fired, I see. So I need to do a clean lap though for once, so that I can see where I'm really sitting at. I can also do the Porsche here in Qatar. It makes most sense, most likely. Just about held the slide, but lost some precious time, I think. Safe to say. Game performance is improved generally, but at least the very same. So I haven't seen any big glitches yet in terms of graphics or anything. Ah, damn it. Those gravel traps have been put nicely. Alright, usually I wanted to go with the Lexus into the race, but I'm thinking, because you guys are interested in it, I'm just gonna reload and put the Porsche. And Thomas, of course, we will check the Lambo out at later stages indeed. So you see, I'm not, oops, that particularly far off. Things are alright. So we return to garage. We are quickly swapping the car. Which we're going to be race weekend. You guys wanted to see the Porsche. And of course I fulfill you that dreams. Porsche 92 is my date, my year of birth. Here we go. I put the heavier rubber again. And off we go. Marauder, yeah, that engine sound contrast will be funny. Alright, be right back. All right. Daniel Benz Racing and Innocent Golo, thank you very much for your follows, guys. Appreciate it. Okay, then the Porsche. I'll just take the default setup to see what it's like. Yeah, thinking Hypercar, Toyota and Peugeot 24 are going to be the cars of choice. Okay, Porsche is bitey on the back. I'll put the slip angle a bit higher. Tires are yet to temperature. Too strong on the ABS. I will still try the Lambo. Tanner, there's a plan in the... yeah, I mixed up the Lambo, I think, with the Lexus. You see those GT3s, they require a bit more brain capacity. So, correct me if I'm wrong, but the critical point was that the Porsche was undrivable after 2 or 3 laps, right? That is what majority of people was reporting at. Yeah, I think the curb sound might be a bit loud, as the curb sound obviously got overhauled. Then let's have a look at the tires. But you know what? Tires look fine, or feel fine. So what we're going to do is we go to the 20-minute race, so we can tick that off. Because there's something else I wanted to show you about this update, of course. And guys, if you're new to the channel, if you appreciate the news update and the look behind the scenes, then please have a follow on Twitch. Subscribe is on the YouTube channel if you haven't done already. Headlights are on. We are on the starting grid, and I will pause that in a moment. No, Cahill, the sound update is for all the tracks. So we're about to catch up. And you know what? It's for this moment that I pause the game. And then we quickly go a couple of cars forwards. In a different angle, of course. And we now finally do have the separation of LMGT3 and Hypercar Grid. This may only look minor, but it will help certainly for any racetrack that there is at least a little bit of a gap between GT3 cars and the hypercars going into the race, right? Anyway, we're going back into the race. It's a 30-minute race, so we can also see how the tires are behaving overall in the long run. I also think that race drivers in their cars hear the curbs much more louder than we do it. We may hear it a bit more extended now. Whether that is accurate or not, I don't know. I hope we will find out at some point. The only downside of this new separation of classes is that probably, yeah, I was expecting that very much. We received the green, green, green when being in the middle of a turn. So the AI is still a bit sloppy around here. That is to be expected. Yeah, the GT3 is gonna start somewhere in the... Well, I don't know whether they've maybe allocate or changed the starting locations for GT3 in Le Mans. Go into the second. Bear with me, you guys might be onto something. Have I enabled the desktop? I do have enabled the desktop. I am super sorry about this. Have the sound fixed finally. Thank you, Yanni. The golden nugget hint. OBS. Please enjoy the sounds now. So we're en route to check how the Porsche is now dealing with the tires, how the Porsche is now dealing with its rear tire temperature. We hopefully see that this is fixed. I don't know whether the AI is swapping drivers. I think they do. So tires 62, still not up for temperature. So we still feel a little bit of understeer. Oh, this is beautiful. I hope you can see from the way I'm driving this that this new tire model is a huge step forwards. I would say this is... I've said this before on Le Mans Ultimate a lot of times, but I think now we certainly do have the best tire model for GT3s available right now. Careful with the rear. Driver swap does not cost additional time in pit lane, I think, unless you... It's 25 seconds. Unless you exceed that 25 seconds with either changing tires or refueling the car, the driver swap will be at no cost for you. Ricordo, I would rephrase that. If I start throwing the car into the turns, I die. Well, isn't it said that iRacing is going to bring the tire model that is on the hypercars and LMP2s to the GT3s? I've driven that tire model on the LMP2 and I will have to say it won't change the world big time. Ah, careful there. Thankfully had the ABS for stability. Otherwise I would have aero pitched and died. So we're now coming closer bit by bit. Ah, you see the rear end is sloppy still though, as we're getting pressure from behind. QATAR, an incredibly technical track. We're going to speak about it during the course of this race. Here comes the Beamer. As we go defend... Ooh, almost lost the rear. It was already on the verge of sliding away. Oh, this time we get overtaken, no chance to defend that. Hey Jürgen. Yeah, I think, and Yanni, you can have your quote on that too. I think generally you feel a lot on the steering wheel about what the car is doing in terms of balance. I wouldn't say that you feel too much from the FFB about the total load, but I would say that you feel very much whether the car's understeering or oversteering. Especially with brake attached. The ABS is giving you a little bit of a track limits. The ABS is giving you a little bit on a rumble on the steering wheel, which communicates very clearly that you're running into the ABS at the moment. Barkeeper Mo, 97% is the AI. So, we are at the end of lap 4 on the start-finish straight. I'd say we make a quick check on the tire temps. I have to maybe admit that the standard setup obviously isn't the most flamboyant one, and is also the one that gives rather stability instead of oversteer. Ooh. So I could catch it at the cost of losing all the momentum that we've had. Bad approach into the final turn, once again being under pressure from the BMW there. But what does the tire temps now say? Tire temperature in the bottom left indicates that this is pretty much balanced. So after 4 laps, I would assume, yes, they do have fixed the Porsche in terms of drivability. And I agree, you have to drive a lot more by steering, absolutely. Daniel, no, we're gonna finish this race and then we're gonna jump into the Lambo. Also here at Lusail International. So I'm trying to brake a bit late, leave a little bit more space on the inside. Nope, BMW has none of it and just takes the position. It is the Porsche, you have to fight the Porsche's distinctive on-throttle understeer. The BMW is really on the move though. Maybe we can pick up some pieces there. Damn it. Ah, understeer. Yeah, I'm not knowing the track very well yet. So you see the slightest bit of slip angle is still possible, up to 2-3 degrees maybe. You can have the rear moving, but remember, this will not only create rear tire temperature, it will also mean abrasion wear. The abrasion wear is a lot stronger from slides than it was before, which means that your tire wear is going to get increased significantly once you spin. We've seen that before when being in the Lexus. So I need to set a dive bomb somewhere here on the Aston, because here on the exits I'm struggling so damn hard with the Porsche. Frank, absolutely. With a new tire model, it is the most important thing that you have the car under control when you go into the turn. Yeah, this was... not sure if I was nudged by the hypercar, but this was me out of control. You saw the rear sliding, and I was given that half a second of time to make up for it and catch it, to keep racing. But I lost all the momentum. I lost also like half a car length to the car ahead. And this is the indication, this is what we wanted to have, right? You don't want to have a car that goes into a slide and you can somehow manage it and then actually be faster with it still? No. You can have a slide so that it's fun that you can catch the car, but it shall not kill you. At the same time, it shall not make you faster. And I think this is exactly what we have. We have no slip angle anymore to profit from and to go quick with. Yeah, you see also the AI is fighting the same issues there. As soon as the oof. Oh boy. Oh my god. Hypercar's going absolutely mental at it. You see also the AI is struggling with it. Every time the rear end from them goes, they quickly correct it, but they go straight for a short while because they have all hands full to do to catch it. This was about the maximum slip angle that you just had, or can have. You saw me a little bit sideways in the last of those right-hand turns. But again, a little bit too much and you're done. No, this is absolutely not NFS Tokyo Drift. Why would it be? So back to the original. Yeah, all the hypercars coming. Let's go. This was too much of it, as you've seen, and straight away we're in fight for the position. Clearly some time lost there. And we have hands full to do to keep it going. Goodness me. Terra DST, thank you very much for the follow here on the Twitch channel. This is pure chaos. Well, it's also great racing, eh? Thank you very much, Sarah. Appreciate it. No. The tire model only goes to the GT3s as far as I'm concerned. The LMP2 receives a small little tire update, but nothing too severe. Yellow flag was optional, sorry. Thank you, Frank. Hope you will enjoy the rest of the video at some point. Or actually the rest of the stream. As we finally get some momentum. Oh, the hypercars. Goodness me. I am Krana. Thank you very much for the follow. He goes defensive. We'll try to go around the outside. Can we make it stick? Rotate. Yes, we can. Awesome. Good move into P4 we go. Well, I'm always running my FFB without any filters whatsoever, apart from some rumble filters if flat spots are a thing, but not even that is currently enabled. So since I have my FFB in the most purest form that you can have it, without any smoothing, without any FFB, I've not also made any changes to it. Perfect. Have you seen what happened to the Delta? I was slightly sideways on the exit of this turn. We can have a look. Maybe a bit more from the bird view. On power application, here we were sideways, and here we had to counter steer it. And you can see that from the backhand a bit further, maybe. Maybe from this angle even better. Yeah, on the exit here, coming from the curb. This is when we got sideways. You see on the bottom right that we're making up for it with the steering. There was a sideways moment. We kept the foot still pinned. But you see how quickly you're losing the rear. And now we're coming back to the top right thing. Watch the delta. Plus 14. And it's coming slightly down. Which is ever so slightly probably acceptable. Because what has happened here is we got a lot more rotation and we overcome the understeeriness of the Porsche. But generally speaking, this is not the fastest way around the corner. And I hope to be able to do this hairpin next lap in a better fashion to show you that even if you're not oversteering, you're going actually even more quick. Or actually have more of a change on the delta. So what happened now is we got like 60 thousandths out of it. From sliding and correcting the rear. And we've also seen traction control has had its bits and pieces of work to do. I rotate the cam on my numpad, but you have to allocate the rotation onto the numpad keys in the settings menu. So, since we're doing a new fastest lap personally right now, the delta obviously resets, and we have to monitor now if we can even get more minus delta out of the hairpin when we're coming to it. And we're checking exactly this now. Separators, I can take out the LMP2 for you as well in a moment. Porsche tires as it stands. Quick look, you guys want to see the delta anyway on the top right and the hairpin. And we're going through it now in a more gradual way. Damn it. So can we get out of the negative? Ah, damn it, had another slide. But you see even more delta gains we get from a little less of a snap. So we still had a snap, but it was a smaller snap than before. Immediately we get a better delta, and I'm 100% sure if we get the exit perfectly right, we'll get an even better delta there. Speaking about the tire, the drivability of the Porsche, as you can see in the bottom left, tire temperatures on the front tires slightly higher than on the rear, especially the left hand side being a thing here on the QATAR Lusail International Circuit. I may want to say I am on the standard default setup, so the car in itself is a bit understeery, which you can also see from me working hard on the steering wheel and having more heat in the front left tire. But generally speaking, you see an equal tire wear all around, so the Porsche has been fixed in that regard. Is the Porsche still off pace? I can't tell you. I've never driven the Porsche buck before. This is just AI, so I don't think this is representative in terms of the overall scheme of things. So we need to see. As you can see on the deltas against the 97% AI, I'm doing quicker than them. Where are the Porsches in that group? Apparently in the top 14 and the only Porsche it seems. Yeah, so it's hard to say at this point of view. I'm pretty sure 1 week of service and we'll know on these answers. We'll know the answers to these questions. Right, let's try to get an exit out of the hairpin without a slide. They made another slide, but look at the delta. Slide was much earlier, quickly corrected. Over 10.5 to be found there. So this is also a clear indication that, because you know, I can maybe quickly come back at it. You see the snap was here, and I corrected it already here with a TC cutting in. So this has clearly cost the time. Yet though, this exit still is better than what we've had before. So a kudos to the Studio 397 guys. I'm pretty sure we can say they have fixed the slip angle issue on the tire. You now have to drive these cars a lot more patiently, a lot more like cars are to be driven. And personally, I can't wait for this update to go out on the hypercars as well. They have flashbacks already for a couple of releases, ever since the replay files came in. You can always go into a live replay. You can't have flashbacks that your car's being reset or anything if you have a crash, that's not possible. But you can always go straight back into a tape and have a quick look at the replay. Damn it. Okay, 9 more minutes, let's go for the win here. And once again guys, if you're new to this channel, if you love Le Mans Ultimate content, then you're very much on the right channel here. Please have a sub on YouTube, follow us on Twitch if you haven't done already. Le Mans Ultimate is our favorite sim and what we are playing and driving most of the time. So, let's see what I can set here. Traction control is high indeed. So let's get the power cut one down. Went off another time. So let's be careful then on the exit here. Clear exits. Time gained again. Sadly fought that understeer on the throttle that the Porsche is so iconically suffering from. I should probably do a full update video about the most critical questions answered by you guys, because I'm repeating myself every 10 laps. I'm using more front of the tires on the Porsche now, and the rear left is 6 degrees colder, so I think they have done something to the chassis and to the balance of the chassis. Although I have to admit, I'm running a pretty understeery setup here, of course. Hashi109, thank you very much for the follow on Twitch, welcome. Yeah, and if you guys want to support the channel even further, then of course please consider becoming a Prime or Tier 1 subscriber on Twitch. Become an Emoji Access member or generally a member on the YouTube channel, enjoy early access, enjoy custom emotes. And of course, if you guys want to secure the future of this channel, want to help us improving for your satisfaction, for your viewer experience, then obviously a donation is also greatly appreciated. But speaking about appreciable things, which is the BMW doing a move on the other BMW, sadly not enough for me to take advantage from. Maybe with a switchback and then a run on the exit. Slightly too hot out of it. That Porsche understeer. Late on the brakes. Relying on the ABS here. Can I slip it up somewhere on the inside? Not here. Maybe with a late dive into the hairpin. Around we go. And now the hunt is on for the last 6 minutes. I'm afraid hypercars will soon come again. Actually, they're on the back end of the GT3 field, so yeah, we'll have another overtaking party by hypercars. Steve, that's great to hear. Pretty sure you'll enjoy this update as well. So next up, we take the Lamborghini Huracan GT3 out here. Guess we're gonna go to Lusail again, but then we will remove the AI. to talk about the Lusail circuit and the car a lot more. Obviously, the Lusail International Circuit for F1 type of standards created probably a little bit boring races, and also in WEC I think the hypercar overtaking situation, also the GT3 overtaking situation is a bit critical, which is, it makes sense. It is a high speed track, it is a high downforce track, which means dirty air is playing a huge factor in driving and racing here. And for that reason I have to say Lusail is probably not the perfect track for the sprint racing stuff, but the track in itself, its technicality, its layout and design, its challenges with the low speed corners, with the corner combinations that require the car to be perfectly set up for weight transition and so on, is a perfect track for testing and learning cars and learning setups, right? So many medium to high speed turns, so many long turns, like even that kind of hairpin which is kind of low to medium speed, but it gets in length, and you need rotation on the entry, you need rotation beyond the apex on the acceleration zone. That needs different setup philosophies. Sector 3 in the hypercar, we're going to speak about the hypercar when we take one out here, which is going to be an LMH car, and is probably, and then we will see what we have to say about that. We're going to do that later, because there is something very interesting on this QATAR track that we haven't seen before in that size, I'd say. Marauder, I don't know. Little Monster, thank you very much for the follow. I don't know if the Porsche is more competitive now. From the gut feeling, the way it drives, I'd say, unless they have changed the balance of performance a lot, not really. I think it was tackled with the drivability, that is fixed. But the on-throttle understeer is a huge thing, obviously. Jeremy, thank you very much for your follow on Twitch. Welcome. Whoops. Almost lost it there with the rear. I remember the Porsche is probably a bad one to show the new tire update behavior into the brakes, because the car is having most of the weight sitting on in a good spot for braking performance anyway. So we'll see more about that when we take out the Lamborghini Huracan here in a moment. So I'm afraid I don't really have a chance on Harty in the GT3. Nice end of that beam of that Ferrari. I'm going a bit too wide, and that's why the Alpine put the nose in. And we've seen once again, yes, you can catch a slide, but at the cost of losing a second. So thank you, Studio397. I think you've absolutely nailed the tire, because in iRacing I would have died. Loix, you mean if you can enforce the cockpit camera? I don't think you can. So let's get a little bit deeper into the realism here in the end. You see, you can really nicely balance the car with the brake, or the trail braking with the balance, which is something that we'll have to do from now on, as the front end is a lot weaker than before. You need to make sure, especially also in that Porsche, that you use a proper trail braking that doesn't go into the ABS, and also that doesn't make the aero pitch so strong that you just spin around. But you see here also in the low speed turn, you can get the car rotating with the right amount of trail braking, just having the brake attached to the front. Car goes around. And this is why we're now driving a bit faster all around. Yes, you can arguably say I've been hitting some technique for 25 minutes, or 30 minutes even. But this is important, and you'll see that this is important as soon as we get to the Lambo in a couple of brief moments. Because this is where the pace is going to be at on the GT3s. Proper driving, proper and sensible trail braking. That's going to be a huge thing. I'm going slightly too wide here. Yeah, I can show you the setting in a moment. You are looking for the lock horizon option that you can find in the graphics tab. So is that the race done? Not yet, one more lap. Let's see whether we can go under the 1 minute 59 marker. Steve, I had a short moment on the Lexus, yeah. I think it's an okay-ish car. Pretty sensible to drive. Also the rear likes to step out a lot. I heard that the Lamborghini is a lot more harder to drive in that regard, so I'm looking forward to try this. Beautiful. That is the best possible turn probably that you can have. Even a better delta than on the lap before. Trail brake for rotation, trail brake for a bit more rotation, there we go. Now you really see how we can nicely balance the car with the brake here. And that applies for every GT3. It's very important that you do it the right way. Back limits. Cozy, thank you very much for the sub, appreciate it. Welcome to the stream. And the more comfortable you'll feel on the brake, the more pace you'll be able to create, that's for sure. That was a bit too much, and immediately we go wide and lose it all. That's also too much. Gets into the slide, you can catch it, but look at the time loss. I mean, obviously I didn't make it a time loss for obvious track limits reasons, but yeah. I think this is great. I think this is just great. DC, that might be something I have to look into the future, because this takes a lot of time for me to learn these things and be able to give you a detailed feedback on the GT3s, especially since I'm not a typical GT3 driver. Have to admit that as well. Lambo. We're looking for V10 screaming sounds, right? So yeah, I don't know if I will or can do it. If I can at some point, I will. For the moment, I would not feel too comfortable doing this video right now. Loic, yes, as soon as we're loaded into the session, I can show you about the settings that I was referring to. And in the meanwhile, I welcome Silentless here on the stream. Thank you so much for the sub. So you go into the settings. On the graphics tab, you find the lock horizon, and it also gives you an indication can help mitigate nausea by stabilizing horizon, especially in VR. So if you lock the horizon, off, the chassis is staying stiff and the windscreen picture is shaking. If you turn lock horizon on, the opposite will happen. You will have a clear view, nothing moving on outside the windscreen, but the chassis is going up and down. So that is basically the difference. All right, Lambo, here we go. As Nunu Alex Jorge has followed us on Twitch, thank you so much. Really much appreciating the support. But guys, for the first acceleration zone, I'll just say nothing and let you enjoy. Beautiful. I have so many shift back vibes from the Audi GT3 in RF2. Beautiful V10 engine sound. So, and in this car we will see also the danger again of the new tire update. We will see how much more dangerous it will be to slide it around. Vinny Ferrari, thank you very much for the follow, appreciate it. Although arguably you have to say with a Lambo being a mid-engine car, this balance should be pretty nice, so should be the McLaren here. Ah, there you go. I'll put the ABS to 7 here. And the brake bar is a bit further to the back as well. Lots of understeer in the car. There you go. And this is perfect, right? It was a sliding moment, and the moment you start sliding, you're not thinking about lap time anymore. You're just thinking about how am I going to keep that car on the track. Lots of front locking still. A bit further to the back. Yeah, maybe I'm just going to turn in and lose the rear now. Then I'll put the brake bias back to the front shortly. Hey, Norman Robinson. Yep. James is right, more brake bias to the front again. So what did we do with the Porsche? Was it just about 2 minutes flat? Let's see what we can do with a Lambo in standard conditions. I mean, it's probably not standard conditions. We raced the Porsche in the night. Let's see what this does with the tires here. This car is a lot more rotational than the Porsche though. Just from a feeling POV, I am still sort of in a sideways slide to an extent. It's not a real sideways slide, but I feel a lot less steering input required here. Porsche top speed 251. Let's see what the Lambo is doing. Slightly quicker. But then again, I mostly suffered on the exit with the Porsche, so maybe a setup issue that I couldn't really get the most out of it. I lost it there again. But you see, there is a difference in characterism. The Porsche didn't understeer that bad into the brake, into the turns, right? The Porsche really rotated nicely on the brakes into the turns. This Lambo is very much more understeery if you get it wrong. So I need to do a better job with the drail braking. Here on the exit though, much better than the Porsche. Shoremain, thank you very much for the follow. I appreciate it. Welcome to the stream. Careful with the brakes here. Brake application mid-turn is a good recipe for a spin. Rather do it before we off the brake at the apex. I see very little turning the steering wheel of my end though. Like, so the Lambo is still very slidey, and you see the issue arising on the rear tires straight away. They are wearing out too much. So Lambo is a tricky car because it suggests that you have a bit more understeer, but at the same time it's quite slidey-ish. And yes, the tire temperatures on the Porsche, they would just rise as you go down the straight. And it doesn't do that anymore. That is, I think that is fixed for sure. Shoremain, yep, this is the patch that you'll receive tomorrow. Damn it. Another slide. Yeah, so tires are tricky, right? But amazing. I cannot express how much I appreciate that new tire model on GT3s. You drive it like a real car. It feels a bit lazy. You're rotating with the steering wheel, you're not rotating with the rear. Sebastix, we're running a Corvette on Interlagos because on the Corvette I still have an old setup that was brought out, or that I had on the car when the car was brought out together with Interlagos. And back in the day we used an extremely oversteery setup on the car, and we are just applying that and see what it does with the new tires. I'll give it one more lap with the Lambo. And then I think before we are jumping, well, let's go first with the Corvette in the GT3 so that we tick that off. And then in the others area of El Plan that you can see here on the stream, we're jumping back to Lusail with the hypercar. Careful with the rear not to slide. There was a slight moment with the slide incoming, hence I waited with the turn in, just like this, and immediately you see on the delta on the top right, we're losing. We're behind. We're not that quick. So finally we take this turn correctly as well, go even a bit quicker. But great to see, we've always lost time. This never was a beneficial line. Just perfect to see. First gear this time out of a hairpin V8, V10 engine. This corner is interesting. You want to be like wide in the beginning, then get close onto the apex, and then have a blistering exit. That's the fastest way around it, I assume. Beautiful positioning of the car. Yeah, proper GT3 understeer galore. Still on the edge though. Dancing with a brake around it. And off we went. Would have been a 59.2 though, so but with a standard setup, the Lambo is clearly faster than the Porsche, is it? Hansen3578, thank you so much for the follow and welcome. Ada. I agree. I disagree with the, like, you know, for me, the VMS Pro season now is almost a complete write-off with that Ferrari, Bob. Ferrari is fast, no question. It is fastest around Le Mans, that's for sure. But in Sebring, in Portimao, those two tracks are Toyota, respectively, Peugeot tracks. In Imola, the Peugeot was quickest. It's not by far that it needs 10 kilograms everywhere. I think Peugeot 24 and Toyotas are going to be OP now, from now on. They just needed to bring back the LMDH with like 75% of a revert back from what they've done in the last update. But okay, that is how they decided for the moment. We will complain, and then in 6, 7, or 8 or 10 weeks, whenever the next patch is coming, we are speaking about the BOP again, hopefully. Right, Interlagos in the Corvette. Let's see how this shit goes down, because that will be interesting for me. That will be a proper test of how are the tires looking now. My old setup should not work anymore. But let's see. I am not Cosmin. I think did I die in the Ferrari or did I die in the BMW M4? I can't remember. I would need to check it up. Anyway, we're going to find out on a couple of more on a couple of more things still. As we're loading into the track though. Okay, car setup. I would not. Aha, it is still there. Okay, here we go. I can quickly come back on the Lexus versus the Lambo in Lusail in a moment. But first, we check the Corvette. And this will be hilarious. Because I think I'm going to die so quickly. First of all, and this is old meta, look at the TC. 726. No chance. You're gonna survive on this one. Oy, 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 oy. Remember, this was the old setup though. It needs a new traction control setting for sure. Going up the hill. Yeah, welcome to the style that I could use on the old tire model in the Corvette. Yeah, bear with the tires, please. They need to come up to temperature still, but yeah, this is pointless. Okay, let's get the power cut to 5. Six 3/8. I would probably say 3 is too little. What do you mean if the ABS is not as good as 9? ABS has been revamped as well. It's only 9 steps now. No, I would never drive the setup that way in a race. Like, tires are coming up to live now a little bit, about 50 degrees, but you can clearly feel on the very get-go, no chance to keep this. Yeah, so rears are probably up to temperature soon. Yeah, and this is the new tire model for you. Right, all those slides that were coming out of this car on these turns, they were easily manageable in the races that we've done, and they helped me for maximum pace. Nothing you can do with them right now. It's just not possible. As soon as you go sideways, you're just losing time. You don't understand why it's so deadly. The new tire is what makes it so deadly. The new tire model is designed in a way that when you are sliding it too much, the slip angle gives up and you just go and crash. I would need to see whether I can find an old Moltec file to explain. Wayne, the setup is fine. The car is exactly doing what the tire is expected to do. Yeah, you can feel that point in the FFB, because otherwise I wouldn't be able to counter steer it in time. Kevin Taylor, thank you very much for the follow. So yeah, the FFB strongly gives you the impulse to go for a counter steer as soon as the rear comes. Also, you hear the tire sliding sounds. So that gives you an indication as well. Yeah, this setup is just dangerous now. Yeah, this is exactly the way you would have driven the car into the final turn, kept the slide, go out of the exit, have a blistering exit up the hill. No possibility with the new tire model. Can't do it. There's just no chance. So this is a huge quality update on the on the GT3 tire model. I don't know whether all setups are dead. I'm pretty sure I could fix the setup with a couple of clicks in the way that I make it more balanced, less oversteery, more stable, a bit more understeery, and then probably the car's good at some point. But yeah, as a setup shop, we have to redo the GT3s. That's for sure. It's a different geometry, it's a different tire, it changes a lot. So there is no way that old setups will still be, like, you can still sell them, but as a customer I would be pissed off if I buy an old setup, right? Okay, because you guys have asked for it quickly with the Lexus out there again. T72, I am afraid this is the limitation of a Logitech G920. A G920 is simply not strong enough to tell you about... I took Interlagos, I'm sorry. I wanted to pick Lusail because there I obviously have the direct comparison with the Lambo. Yeah, Tanner, I mean, I think whenever they do a new tire, they also need to adjust some stuff on the chassis in order to make that work to each other. Like, it needs to be somehow being trimmed on it. I think, I'm not sure. Maybe no changes on the chassis. We'll have to check the full change log. So I have quali fuel here. That's obviously not what I wanted. Setup Academy. Here we go. Have the Lambo also been low fuel? Have you guys checked? Let me check that. I need to check that myself. Because otherwise I've said bullshit about the Porsche being off pace. No. So the Lambo also has been race fuel. Anyway, guys, I hope you appreciate the stream so far. If you do so, please give the thumbs up on the stream. Would appreciate your support. And of course, if you're new to the channel, love the insights in Le Mans Ultimate and want to see more of that, then please subscribe to the YouTube channel, follow us on Twitch, and support the channel. So this time we're gonna keep the slide going. Yeah, I'm gonna give it 3 or 4 laps so we can see the pace. It feels understeery though. But of course tires are still cold. Cold tires is a huge thing. And thankfully, unlike iRacing, it just feels very much different than warm tires as well. iRacing is just like, yes, you feel a little lower grip in general and you're 2 or 3 seconds off. But the cold tires in Le Mans Ultimate is a different type of animal. You can easily die, you can easily just understeer off the track until you get a little bit of grips in. Then, I don't know, setup gurus will go through the cars and check at some point. Need to check actually where the Lexus to be shifted. Be sure after my blue LEDs turn on. I can also keep that view, it's fine. I don't know why, but Lexus reminds me of an Aston Martin engine. Does Lexus race with an Aston Martin engine? Very much reminds me of the Aston Martin Vantage. Cold tires are the same hard, probably a little bit harder than before, yeah. Yeah, it certainly is a V8 that I'm aware about. But the Aston Martin also has a V8. So I wonder whether it is the same engine or whether the engine just sounds the same because of V8ism. Tomolo cars, you're hyped for the new livery system. That is something I'm going to show you after we've taken out the hypercar in... yeah. Here we go, spinning. That I will show you after I took out the hypercar in Lusail, because we're gonna speak about the LMH cars specifically that will be interesting to have a look at. And I also will tell you why, once we're there. Ike's Guy, did I just get a business card of you on Simracing Expo, if I'm not mistaken? Are you working for a Simracing equipment manufacturer? Your name rings a bell in my brain. Ah, look at me, my brain is not completely fried. You're not sure about these spins? I will give you a little bit of a summary about the new tire model in a video, I assume, where I recap on a couple of updates. Sounds a lot like the Ligier from RF2. Yes, that as well. Ligier sounds pretty close to that as well. I agree. Ike's Guy, that's great. Yeah, happy to catch up on that topic in a moment, or in some later moment of the week, maybe via email or chat Discord. Yeah, speaking about Discord, guys, if you guys want to have a look behind the scenes on this YouTube channel, if you want to get in touch with me about any topic whatsoever, !Discord, or the link in the video description gets you onto my personal Discord server, where we occasionally hang out and speak about different topics in the sim racing world, also from the real racing world. So feel free to join that, check that out, as we are again coming into the area of track limits. Stream Elements, thank you so much for the bots. That is MD, obviously, with the Stream Elements. Feel free to join that. We're having a good time there. It has not been too active in the last couple of weeks, which was partly my fault, because with Harvey the dog being a stressful little boy, I used my time elsewise. Yeah, Ike, would appreciate talking to you indeed. As I mentioned, feel free to get my Discord from our Discord server. That way it's probably the easiest way to poke me. Okay, so what do you guys think, Lexus versus Lambo? Sound aside, let's focus on the driving. Yes, we will drive a hypercar here around shortly. So 59.8, we wanted to have 59.2. Personally, from driving it, it feels a lot heavier than the Lambo. A little bit more understeery in general. The Lambo rotates a little nicer, a little bit more consistent, I think. I need to rotate the steering wheel a lot harder to make a turn. James! Gamer Muscles with a £5 super chat donation. What am I seeing? Yeah, I lost my temper on it. Drink for a legend. Make sure to give this guy a like, a follow, a sub. He is generally a top guy and not just a flithy, talented esport driver. Love goes out to James. Thank you so much for the lovely words, man. I appreciate it. Tomolo Cars update should be out tomorrow afternoon at some point. Usually it has been between 3 and 6 PM when Le Mans Ultimate is updated on the database. Gamer Muscle, thank you very much for the £5 donation, much appreciated. For the shout out and for the motivation for you guys also to hit the sub button and the like button. That is giga support from a streamer colleague. James, I'm looking forward to seeing you again this year. So, coming back on the cars comparison, so I need to rotate the steering wheel harder on the Lexus, which I think makes it, in general, and this is the interesting thing, it appears to be the more stable car because you need to work more on the steering wheel. But as you've seen twice now, I'm having more issues not spinning the Lexus compared to the Lambo, which is an interesting thing. Mostly, I think, because the Lambo on the brakes is much more understeery, it's much more front locking, and if I'm looking at the brake bias here, that is more towards the rear. So I give this a few clicks more to make it more front braking, and then it is not improved. You see, the Lambo, the Lexus is suffering a lot from that aero pitch movement. Which also makes sense, right? Because the Lexus is probably a couple of centimeters taller. The Lambo is obviously an extremely flat car, so center of gravity is pretty low, therefore makes it a pretty stable car, whereas the Lexus weight is a bit more up in the air, and therefore maybe, yeah, making it understeer a bit more, making it generally a bit harder car to drive. I appreciate the way it rotates into jailbreaking zones. That is surely much better on the Lexus compared to the Lambo, but in hindsight for that, you need to be much more aware of what you're doing when you are trying to throw the car into a turn. which also gives the trail braking an important factor to be spot on. This is a bit too much, yeah. Esports Lite, you can't do it. Perfect update. Absolutely perfect. This is exactly what we wanted to be gone. And for this reason, I'm so happy that I spun. Really. Ollie, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the stream. MD, let's talk about the bottom right. Ah, wait. Are you talking about the super chat functionality? I don't know. Right, I'm gonna try one more. Like, I want to at least see that the Lexus is as fast as the Lambo, so I'm gonna give this more go. Yes, I'm going more aggressive with the slip angle, but I give the power cut and the actual TC a bit more of a bump, so they stay a bit more neutral. Let's see. Homie FFM, this is so true. With every further spin, another esports light career is ending. And we love seeing that, do we? We love racing cars, we love racing them with the steering wheel and with the pedals and with setups and with skill, and not whoever is best in balancing a sideways slip. Because at the end of the day, back in R Factor 2, you've set up the car in a way that you could mostly keep the sideways slip in a stable position. You didn't necessarily tune the car for rotation or anything, no. You were like, how can I slip this thing and how long can I keep this in the slip position during the corner? This is how R Factor 2 has been a couple of years back. Also, their tire model updates have fixed that to a certain extent as well, but obviously it's still a thing. Or still more a thing than it is now on Le Mans Ultimate. And arguably I have screwed up the tires again, which I'm going to show you again, a feature that we love to see here. And for that reason I'm gonna switch cameras. For those of you that have been here with us from the beginning of the stream, you've already seen it, but I want to give you guys that have joined it recently another shot. I have to admit that the new Lexus is not as good as the Lambo, at least not out of the box. Guys, have a look into the rear tires and the temperatures and the percentages. Have you seen how quickly that has gone down? Which is also a fun thing if we're going to give this a go into the final turn. I will do this on purpose now. Sadly not in the effect that I wanted, it took me way too long to spin it, but you see how quickly we are losing the tire when we are sliding and spinning. So if I keep donutting here. Ah, damn it. Come on, Michi. Now, look how quickly that tire goes down. 52, 51, 50, 49, 48, 47, 46, and so on. So the new tire is incredibly quickly, and now obviously I've overheated it so much that it has no grip at all. Like, this is normal TC engaged again. So what we're going to do now is box for a fresh set of tires. Realistic tire degradation on a big spin. So important now, we're changing to new mediums. And before switching them off, note down the tire temps: 88.5, 205. Those are the tire temps on the tires we're now swapping off. So here we get new tires, obviously 100% and so on. We are waiting for a little longer till we get going again. And then maybe I can also screw that tire up real quick with a high-speed spin so that you can really see how much a high-speed spin is costing you the tires. Because usually you'll get like 1.5 to 2% of tire wear per lap on these tires. But one big spin could really flip it up. Outside temperature is 18 degrees, which is why we get 18-degree tire. So I'll probably need a bit of a tire temperature first. In the meanwhile, I'm configuring the pit stop. Not the used medium. Where did my medium go? This is probably the best used medium that we can have. Anyway, I can still show you it. First I do the spin, then I show you what I wanted to show you with the pit garage and the pit stuff. So let's see about the spinalla after this turn. So here's the tire. Jesus Christ. Can't spin it. And in a couple of months I'd be happy that I couldn't spin it. Obviously brake bias further to the back. Trail brake. Front is not biting enough. Anyway, here we come with a spin. And as you see, that spin, if it happens in the race, costs you 7 or 8% of tires. Okay, in the meanwhile, we jump back to the garage. We go on the tires tab. We check. I'm selecting them because I think this is a bug. This should actually show much little... maybe the tires went straight to the bin. Perfect example, still 18.3%, right? And I now take the tires that we just had on, which is the used ones here. Those that were the one that we just were spinning. Look at the tire temperatures. Still 60 degrees in, still 49 degrees in. So what's happening? The tires that we've had on and been put back into the garage, they stay the same with temperature, and it gets simulated how they would behave in the meanwhile. So they are still heating up right now in the core simply because our surface temperature is still at 80 degrees. If I go roll out a little bit, that temperature should come down as it comes down right now. And the moment that I park the car again, go back to the garage, which is waiting a couple of more moments. See if the tires are still available. We would get new tires. No, we want to get our used ons again. They should come down a little further now. They've dropped like 0.5 degrees in the meanwhile. So this is very dynamic. This is a huge detail, and this is a huge addition that now belongs to all cars. Hypercars, LMP2s, GTEs, and GT3s. Whether that is useful for the race is a different topic, but in testing, if you have not destroyed a tire and be like, oh, how is going a setup change working on a used set of tire? Like, how does it change the balance? All you have to do is carefully stop the car, press escape, dial in your changes, hit the racetrack with the same tire again, and you have the same tire again back with the temperature that you just left it for last 30 seconds ago. And that will mean from the very first lap you will have immediate access to the change of your setup, well, to the effect of your setup change. So you can discard a burnt out tire and not use it. Yes, I mean, as long as you have unlimited sets, right? You're always just gonna select the new one here. Instead of new medium, you could also go to the used one. usually I think the best tires that are still able to be raced on, they appear up here. This is also why the other tire is gone for good now and at the moment. We could do the same thing again with this tire, just, you know, spin it up in pit road a bit. So tire temp is still coming up. Surface is at over 200. Let me see. 80%. We've lost a shed load amount on it. And here I go out of the pits. 93.2 is the temperature. Temperature's coming down. So I go back to the garage. Be like, get me a fresh set of tires, please. Find out. Oh, this is 18 degrees now. Those tires are really fresh. Have never been touched. If I go back to the garage and be like, get me the old tires again, please. They've been gone now. Yeah. So, not sure if I run into a bug here. I think they should still be available. But maybe if you have better tires available, it doesn't show up. Tires used 0 of 56. We've run into a bug here. But basically, I really hope I can show it real quick because... let's do it just like this. 33 degrees. Tires. New. Put them on. Probably the old... it has to do with the fact that there is a used medium. Yeah. Pretty much. Anyway, I think you guys have seen what I wanted to show you. That the tire temperature stays in the tire if you drop them off. So it is a huge asset. The demo effect, 100%. I have unlimited here in this one, yeah. So maybe that's also part of it. Homie FFM, this is the next thing that we're going to do, which is why I'm coming back at the hypercar. For the hypercar, it makes, well, just as much sense as for the GT3s, but obviously we've done it a lot on the hypercars. The fuel saving with the clutch is effectively gone. So I'm showing you a couple of more things here. And I'm taking out the hypercar here. Also now, real quick in this screen condition, because we have to speak about something. We have to speak about front power, front coast. This is an important factor here. Because, and the front coast is really just marginal, so not even sure if it's making a huge difference, but the front power is important. This applies to all hypercars, to all LMH hypercars that have a front motor. And it also only applies if you have the electric motor map of higher than 0. Because, and Sebastix, yes, tire state is persistent. If you have flat spotted the tire, dropped it off, and you get it back on again, you have the flat spot back. The tire in its entirety stays the same and is simulated what happens with the temperature when it's off. So even if you do a stint, drop it off, 40 minutes later want to put it on again, it's probably stone cold again. So that would be something we need to test. It would be interesting to see if you have 30 degrees ambient temperature and you drop off a tire at 90 degrees, how long will it take down to cool down? Does it make sense to like keep switching the tires and you always have like a great tire heat? That remains to be open. Right. What about switching to neutral and pulling the clutch and upshifting till you're in appropriate gear? MD, we're going to cover that as well. Is it right that you can create your own team in Le Mans Ultimate like career mode? Yes. Anyway, we're coming back to the thing that I wanted to say. Usually, front power and coast. This only applies to LMH cars which have the electric motor to the front and only applies if electric motor is active. But remember, LMH deploy on the front motor at above 190 kph. And this is why this is important for QATAR mostly. For QATAR and for the Porsche curves in Le Mans. Because this is one of the rare occasions where the cornering speed of a couple of corners is higher than 190 kph. And for that reason, I'll quickly take you around the track here with a couple of hypercar laps. Steve099, thank you so much for a tier 1 sub and the appreciation of all the information available today. Much appreciated. So, here we come. And I am pulling the clutch pedal, but nothing ever happens. Right? So I cannot engage the clutch until I drop below 60, I think. I mean, now's clutch anyway, right? Not even below 60. Not in 4th, not in 3rd, not in 2nd. Yeah. Not in 3rd. There is a clutch protection in 2nd and 1st below 60. So even if I go like this, I think at above 60 kph the gear slots in. There you go. Here, no clutch anymore. And you should see that on the... I'm not sure if you can see it on the screen. And you see, I think it just updates. Yeah, the clutch. The clutch just... I think you can... I need to see what the thing is doing. Yeah, you see, I am on the clutch 100%, but nothing's ever happening. I still get full drive. So this is the first thing that obviously doesn't work, which we wanted to show, and it is a great addition, which basically means whenever I come to a turn, like a normal driver, I have to lift off the throttle. Something else that doesn't work is when you're like, yeah, I'm smart, I'm just going to neutral coast, can't even engage first gear, because the gear is being locked in a way to the transmission that it only slots in when you are getting below, I don't know, a certain amount of RPM, which is, yeah, above 80. 80 kph is where you can slot it in. I could go to 7th gear now, but I would come above 1st. So the only thing, and maybe, and this is really the big maybe. Let me try something crazy, and then I can report it straight away to QA, car controls. In my mind, there was a button. That was on R-Factor 2 though, that you could assign a button per gear. I see this is not possible anymore, so yeah, there is no way to overcome that. You can't. There used to be a button that you can, like, if I press that button, I go straight to 6th gear no matter what. I think this doesn't exist here. And since this doesn't exist, no chance for us to abuse it, right? Marauder, thank you so much for the 10 Canadian dollars. Small token of appreciation for the stream, much appreciated. And also Blazotto, thank you very much for the prime sub here on the stream. Okay, back to the reason why I'm bringing out a hypercar here. Hypercar and electric motor. They have a differential just like the standard internal combustion engine on the rear end. So it's important for us to set that up correctly as well, because it will mean a lot of important things and a lot of important settings for any corner above 190 kph, which, wait, but if you hold the button and go from 7th to 2nd or 4th, that button is there. What button are you meaning? It exists in current build as well. Yeah, but remember, I'm on a new build. Maybe they've removed that. It's under calibration. Use gear select button hold. Hold assigned button to be able to select the gear. Yeah, but use gear, select button, hold. I still would need to be able to set, to map a button for 5th gear or so, right? Nah, this doesn't work either. If I spun without automatic clutch, I stall engine, but can I save engine from stall without... Yes. I mean, actually we can try this. Ah, shit. Sorry, didn't want to click that. Let me try that. Spin and turn off. Okay, so on settings, hold clutch until lock, auto shifting, no, auto clutch. Where's the auto clutch? There's the auto clutch. Put it off. Let's see. So yeah, that I have stalled now. I should not be able to restart it. Yes. So only be able to restart it. Yeah. With the clutch. So I think you need to react on it in time, which I'm going to show you with one quick spin here on turn 1. I'm not even sure if I can show that because if I pull the clutch now, nope. So the engine turned off immediately, and as you've seen, and I think we will see from the outside, I think the rear axis should block if it is modeled correctly. Guys, beautiful. This is perfect. Engine is off. We're in a forwards gear. And the rear blocks. This is perfectly done. Perfectly represented of what's happening. Obviously in the last moments, maybe the clutch kicked in. No, it did not. Not sure why it starts spinning again, but generally the way the car slowed me down now is perfectly what it should be doing. Okay, so I need neutral, I need starter slick on, I need a clutch to get out of here, and then I can just drive. Well, Thomas, I don't think anything needs to be fixed there, like, in real life they have anti-stall anyway. So if they spin in real life, the car goes into anti-stall, which the auto clutch can be considered at here on the sim, and I think that's fine. So, speaking about the hypercar finally, and I need to obviously get to the turn first that this is relevant for. Adrian Blasco, thank you very much for your raid with a party of 19, appreciate it, enjoy the shoutouts. This is a little bit relevant for this turn, but it's mostly relevant for all the turns coming up from here on. Watch the cornering speed in this high speed section. 230, 220, just about 190 probably. If you nail it correctly, it is above 190. Remember, we're still on cold tires. I'm gonna do a lap or two so that we can check, and you guys actually need to read out the numbers because I need full focus on the racetrack in order to keep the car going. You see how slippery the car is? It is important, it is really important that whenever you have motor map higher than 0, to note that the differential on the front axis will predetermine the car balance. By the way, eSports Light, not the new tire model. You see a direct difference there. You just lean on the rear to rotate. We need to get rid of that, and hopefully the next big update will give that, well, will get us rid of that driving behavior. I really would love to see hypercars with a GT3 tire model. Goodness me, that will be heaven for sim racing. Anyway, coming back on the point multiple times, I'm sorry I kind of keep deviating from it. For hypercars, for LMH with a front motor, even more importantly for the Peugeot 23 that activates at 150 kph already, literally half of the track here is... Probably I should have taken that car to demonstrate. Anyway, point I'm trying to raise is it is very important that you consider the front differential being different from the rear axle differential, for playing a major role in how you can drive through these turns. Also, natural track limits, as there is what a slide, a gravel trap right at the exit of the at the end of the curb. Perfectly fine. Perfect track there. Would love to see that gravel trap literally at every exit, like also here. Just that little strip of gravel. Yeah, the hypercar tire model is probably really outdated to an extent. We have to admit it. Certainly, you have to drive that a whole lot different. Lots of neutral steering. Lots of throw the car into a turn, let it rotate, pick up on it with a throttle, neutral steering on the exit. You see how early I am on a straight steering wheel already when coming out of the turn. Literally from letting the car go and just rotate it over the rear without too much penalty, I would rather say. Is it possible to have the complete HUD of the wheel on the screen? You mean this one? The one that I have on my own steering wheel somewhere on the screen? Yes. It's a SimHub option. You just want to open it on a different screen and move it somewhere. It's not outdated, but let's say the technology has improved and we are yet to receive that update on the hypercars. I have to say though, these corners in hypercars absolutely nuts. And it ran wide again. So we can speak about more of Qatar as a racetrack then for the moment. Before I show you what else is left on the list, liveries. I do like Qatar from a track map, from the rhythm, from its layout. I think for multi-class racing it is a brilliant racetrack. Lots of good overtaking opportunities. The track is wide enough so GT3s and hypercars should always have enough space. A little bit too much sliding. That obviously goes onto the tyre. There's no doubt about that. Tyre doesn't love that too much. You see also the rear tyre temperature is already up. Let's say the spinning of lap 1 hasn't obviously helped the fact how the car's behaving. For first sector, obviously a mixture of high and medium, of low and medium speed corners. Then the middle sector to be really like technically one medium speed corner, rest is low to medium speed again. And then the third sector, also here in orange, absolutely high speed everywhere. Only low to medium speed corner is final turn. There you go. So what is the issue with the clutch here you guys are reporting? So I'm quickly going to return to garage. Put a different click on the set. Oh, good also. Forgot about the fact that I can adjust the ARB. Yeah, tire wear when spinning. It's also the old one, so I can demonstrate that real quick as well. I'll need a new tire anyway. Yeah, it also gives good abrasion wear, but I think GT3 tires went down quicker and harder. Despite I'm spinning this in 4th gear, so with plenty of speed. Safe to say that this obviously also has been punishing, but the GT3 tire is even more punishing. Right. One more run. Then we're looking at liveries, and then we slowly come to an end as well. Lenore, well, they kind of teased it to us already, and if you wanna see the proof of that, then I encourage you watching my video about what's next on Le Mans Ultimate. So I do a couple of more laps with a hypercar around Lusail, so that we've seen what hypercar racing is like on this track. Oops. And then we jump into liveries. What else did the plan say? We've done the Huracan, we've done the Lambo, we've checked on the Porsche drivability. Something else besides others? Tire model is really different on the GT3. We've showed that for the last 2 hours, so I have to ask you sadly to revise on that, or to rewatch the stream a little bit here. Yeah, 1 click less on the rear ARB and suddenly the car isn't turning as much. So this is where the high speed balance is a thing. I know that the Ferrari has been picked a lot. I know that people always have been in the Ferrari, and I know that drivers like Rigoletto and Dielhood have made the Ferrari look as quick as the Toyota and the Peugeot. But have it made look as quick is the word I'm putting on. For the Ferrari to receive 10 kilograms everywhere, 15 in Le Mans, means to me that they no longer want to see Ferrari being picked. So I think the Alpine has been put into place. Not sure if LMDH are really a thing again. Now it's Toyota versus Peugeot 24 Cup. What we're seeing, or what we're going to be seeing. Yeah. This is how I see it. I think the bob for the Ferrari is a joke, but that might be me having raced the Ferrari a lot, and lately even I have struggled to set it up in a way that it's going quick. So yeah, it is what it is. Same for everyone. Famous esport phrase. They do release the update tomorrow, so enjoy the stronger Ferrari for today still. Okay, finally a valid lap incoming, hopefully. Late apex in the penultimate turn, just about keeping it on the track. And one more late apex here for the final turn. This is where the apex sits. This is how you can get maximum speed out of it. Into the 41.9s we go. I think 12.99 will be the DLC. So one more lap, then we are checking out liveries, I think, and team functionalities. I have prepared something for you there. I think there will still be an imbalance between hypercars. I think they've not brought back the LMDHs into position. They should have received some reversal of the balance of performance from a couple of months ago, but whatever. Enjoy the fast sector 3 you won last time. Coming up after this turn. Nope, I can't test it. Well, I might be able to test it. I'll need to see. But I can at least show you the showroom and how a livery is applied. Which will be interesting information for you regardless, I think. Track's invalidated anyway. And I'm not sure if I should do a video about liveries as we're coming in for a 41.5-ish, 41.6. Dre AG, thank you very much for your follow on the Twitch channel, appreciate it. Okay, that's it for the driving. At the moment. And we're going to the main menu. Right, so how this works is with liveries, and I can probably select that screen for the moment, is you are going to your team tab. And regardless of what you want to do, if you want to use your custom liveries, you need to be in the team. You can be up in, I think, up to 3 teams. I have created a team here for testing reasons, but I am not going to use this, so I create a new team real quick. Just the MA10 stream test team. And we are selecting, obviously, our country, which is Germany. There we go. Germany, customization. So I can update a team logo, which surprisingly I have some here. So I'll take that old one. Which one? The one I'm always using, like this. And also I could use a team background. So let me see. Background. Do I have a good background? Yes, I do have a good background. So if I go, I don't know if I have anything in the directory that you shouldn't see. So I quickly move it off the screen. Pictures. I could be a bit like going from old stuff, bringing on some old and good looking things. Nicolini has once done an amazing shot of F1 car being driven in the rain. Now, where did that go? Ah, no. Where did that go? Pictures. Yeah. There it goes. There it went. Where is it? Where is the great shot of Mr. Nicolini? There it is. So the old burst colors. I'll use that as a team background. Then you can select numbers. First choice is number 10. That's my personal number. Second choice is 92. That is the year of birth. And the third choice is the 15, which is my brother's favorite number. Then we have a new team, which is awesome. And then we have our lineups. Speaking about lineups, first of all, I have to invite members that I can then assign as an engineer, as a manager, as an engineer, as a driver. So then I have all the functionalities down there. And you see, it is lovely. The team backgrounds picture, that is customization at its best. You now have your own background in your own team on the game, which is fucking beautiful. Okay, coming back on the team functionalities, you obviously have a history, which races you've raced in and so on. And now we're getting to the team livery. So first of all, you need to get the templates. You'll find them in livery, in the support templates folder. I should have that here, support. Yes, bear with me. Common. Does that work? did you freeze now? Common. There we go. Oh, it doesn't come ahead of the picture. Could you please come ahead of the picture? No. Okay, yeah, it is inside the Lamor Ultimate folder. There you'll find all the templates, PSDs for all the cars available, which is editable Photoshop data, but you can also use it in GIMP or something else. Anything, any design software that can create a TGA car. So then we want to apply it to a new car. So here you get to the car selection. All the files are being from the old ones, or from like being up from scratch, which means you see a full carbon fiber model of any car, whether it's the Corvette, whether that is the Lambo. It's all carbon fiber. We are going to apply one to the well, this is also Lambo in the hypercar, but we're going to apply one in the Ferrari. Then you click continue, and then a showroom loads up, which shows you the current texture of the car, right? All carbon fiber, all pitch black. You see the custom skin TGA and the custom region of the skin. Also, you see the showroom, and down in the bottom left, if you ever wonder what it needs, you can go and click custom livery guy. What then happens is, it happens on the web, obviously. I can't show you now. There is a very good documentation on the Studio 397 webpage about team functionalities and custom liveries. How to do a custom livery, how to create the custom livery, how to apply a custom livery, and how to raise a custom livery. So what we've done next, and I got something ready here. What you have to do is you receive a custom skin TGA. You have to always call it custom skin TGA file, like the TGA file needs to be custom skin and custom skin underscore region. Those two files you need to put into the more ultimate folder, user data, liveries, and in the liveries you always find those two. So you put them in there. Once they are in location, you click reload and your livery appears. So what I've done now is I fucked it up because, and this is a little bit of a downside, and you see like everything is all over the place. It's like you can probably see that this is a Michi Hoyer livery just from the logo and stuff, but yeah, something is not right. And that is not right because I accidentally have uploaded the BMW hypercar. So I go into the right folder, click the Ferrari files, do the same thing, copy the custom skin TGA, custom skin underscore region. I replace them in the liveries folder and click reload. And I have forgotten to move something, so I've only took one file, I'm afraid. Yep. Reload. There we go. So this is my Ferrari livery. It's not yet 100% finished. It's still a bit work in progress, but enough that I can show you what's going on. And then you can even do a couple of settings to the materials, right? So I can go metallic flake. I can go wrap. I can go from matte to medium or glossy, shiny. Now you see like this is a really shiny material now in a metallic paint, and it goes back to matte. Matte or shiny, you see the differences across the car. You can have a soft, medium, or strong finish on it. Lots of stuff happens. Bones, thank you so much for your follow. Can you also just leave the car just like that and have set no livery? I think you can. So once you've done with that, you quickly just click upload. Then your livery has been uploaded to race control and applied to your default lineup. Once the livery has been processed, you will send a notification and it becomes available to be raced. So we test them both out. So if we click liveries, apply to a new car. Yeah, I have probably no liveries applied yet, which is why the message is coming up. Liveries. Oh, yeah. So they are applied to the MH Simracing team. on the MH Simracing test team, there is no liveries yet, which means there are obviously still liveries, but they still need to be applied and they still need to be processed. Also, you see, I'll use the very background picture for for the actual test team. Here's the BMW livery. There is the LMP2 livery. So we're going to try doing the same. There is the Ferrari livery now on the MH test team as well. So now we have that. Takes really just a second. On the BMW, we take the BMW skin, click confirm, and see whether we can just upload. In the meanwhile, I'd like to say thank you, Matthias Catfleek, for following and subscribing on the YouTube channel. So as you can see, I still have the custom skin region from the Ferrari, and so I delete them now in the user data /liveries folder. Click reload. The car should actually go black again. Yeah, but maybe something has been stored in the cage now. So I'll just leave it and click it again, just to make sure. Liveries, apply a new car. Let's take the Ferrari regardless. Savagadak, thank you very much for the follow. Here we go. Black car. I click upload. And let's see, I think, okay, it does do something, but that might mean we just really racing a black car for updates. Or a black car in livery. Let me see. So we're going to do the same with a BMW. We go through the same process. So hypercar, we pick the BMW and apply. Well, get to the showroom first, then go into the BMW files this time. Then go over there, replace the custom skin in the user data /liveries folder, click reload, and this time the BMW shows up with a perfect finish. So we upload that as well, and because we love it so much, I have the third livery, and obviously I want to show you that. Liveries LMP2. I need to go there, create a new car, and we've seen also, let's see if it goes back to the same picture. Sadly not. Liveries, MH test team. You see the pitch black Ferrari and the GT3 is available. And last but not least, we go for the LMP2, create that, and then I come back to your chat messages. LMP2 files, replace. Yeah, and this turns up already because upon load up of the showroom, I have replaced the files in the meanwhile. So this is there now. Also, some finishing still needs to be done on this car, but again, enough to just upload and show it. So this is what you have to do in order to be able to use custom liveries in the first place. Because what happens now, and I need to see whether I can join something here. On the daily, I could join with a pitch black Ferrari now, because if I join practice, I think if I go and click the Ferrari, some issues with the caging, I believe. Because I think how this should work is now, and I hope I can, yeah, no other events available. Yeah, this is a bit effy now. So what would happen is, whenever I go and select the team, here in the top right corner, you should see the logo. Or can I register for a race? Let me see. Sharon, you might be right. Register for the race. The Ferrari was black. No. I would love to see whether it has to do something. You know what? We just do something very broken. So we go to liveries again. Now it's also going to be for open lobby. And not open lobby, for the daily races. I think you can select it. I go to the BMW. Confirm. Exactly, Baba Cobra. And I will just going to apply the broken LMP2 livery to it, so that it doesn't be just black, because I think this could potentially flick up some issues as well. what I'm going to do next is just to make sure that everything runs correct. So I quickly restart the game. The driver swaps are only for special events whenever they've been announced to, but the liveries can be raced in daily races as long as you belong to a team, and I'm gonna explain that in a moment. It doesn't work in single player, that's correct. So let me see, daily. Plus4com, thank you so much for joining. Thank you for the follow. Join practice. No. BMW also, and I assume my livery would already be there. I think it might perhaps, there it is, broken, but it's there. But the Ferrari disappeared. I've put it to the wrong team. Oopsie. Yeah, unlucky. Also, like, do you see the difference from the metallic colors compared to the matte ones on the thumbnail car? Pretty nuts, isn't it? Can't remember if I set the same up for the BMW. Either way, looks a bit better. Yeah, I think sadly I can't show it now because, yeah, as who said it? Can't remember, I'm sorry, but in the bottom right corner, there should be the logo of your team that this livery is applied to. So to make this crystal clear, you cannot pick a custom livery of one of the pre-selected cars here. So Ford has those 3 liveries, period. Ferrari has those 5 liveries, period. The only thing that you can do, and this is why I set teams, it is important that you are signed up to a team. You need to be on a team. That's what I miss doing. That is what I miss doing. I have not done a lineup yet. Heh, look at me. So, I need to go to teams. This is a driver lineup. Me is on there. And now I need to go to the liveries and assign it to a lineup, which F. Okay, I have to do it again real quick. Create a new car. Take the BMW. Because obviously we want to make the car looks like something. Hey Darian, thank you for joining. Nope, there is no 2025 livery yet. They might be added in future uploads as soon as they are ready, or in future updates as soon as they are ready from MSG side. Okay, we've uploaded that one. We give it a short time to process what I've done in the meanwhile. I go to liveries again, select the test team that I've just done, assign the broken Ferrari to a test team lineup. So I need to assign a livery to the lineup, and you need to be part of this lineup where the livery is assigned to so that you can use it. This is the thing that I wanted to tell you at all the times. There's the BMW, perfect. I assigned that to the MH10 stream test team. And I think if everything runs correctly now, if I go to online and the daily races, unlucky. It might be a caging issue. There we go. Here is the BMW that I can now select for the race. Then I can select the number that I want to race it on, click register, and then I join a practice. Thank you, Sharon. Forgot about that. And then we quickly start driving. And here we go with a... Right. Oh no! Something went wrong with this. I wanted to say with a beautiful MH10 livery. it should show the number 10 right here. But I can show you something else that which will change as we quickly return to garage. Yeah, it says BMW M4 GT3 Custom Team 2024. But in hindsight, when it's correctly, it's number 10, MH10 Simracing Team. That will be the name. So what I'm going to do, and this could be, it really could be just, the event starts in 5 minutes, so I quickly need to hurry up with this. I quickly quit this. I go to my custom, my Le Mans Ultimate folder. In the user data, it says custom livery cage, and there is a cage of all the custom liveries, so I quickly delete that one. Reload into the game, and then we try this again, right? Julian, I think it should also show up in the practice server, but you might be right. Thankfully, we only have to wait 5 minutes. And you know what, in the meanwhile, what I'm doing, so because you guys wanted to test, to have me testing the, you want me to test the Ferrari elsewhere anyway, so we leave it. Those two things I'm gonna do. I'll check whether the livery now shows up correctly. A small picture indicates we do have our livery. They should be fine. Yeah, remember this is early access, and we're still in the phase where a lot of things go wrong. I think it's the black livery again. Yeah, we'll see. Maybe it turns up in the race, but you see the general idea of how this is working, right? So quit to the main menu. How long does that take? It surely takes some time to upload as well, but usually as soon as you'll be able to select it from here, as it is wrong here, as it is assigned to the team lineup. I mean, I could use it, so right, it should be there. What is the best app to create your livery on? Tomolo cars, that will be Photoshop. Yeah, assigning a black Ferrari to the Ferrari doesn't help the job, right? So we are quickly waiting till the car's coming up. What I do in the what you wanted me to test with a Ferrari, whether it dies on Eau Rouge, right? What is it? It's a 5-minute practice, 6-minute qualifying, 10-minute race. We're gonna join that server at some point. You wanted to see me and the Ferrari going close up behind another car at Spa. So what I'm going to do is race weekend. I hope I can fix this within 5 minutes. We go Spa. We go Ferrari GT3. We go GT3 cars only. We go at least heavy grip. And we start race weekend. So I'll need to see if there is still a setup that I can put in on the GT3 car, on that Ferrari. And we're gonna do a lap, or 2, or 3, driving the GT3 on the new tire model around Spa, so it's additional content for you guys. And within those 10 minutes, we're gonna find some car at least to race down a Rouge bean in the slipstream in the draft. Do I have a setup? I do have a setup. Amazing. Here we go. There are no 2025 liveries. Again, this is only custom liveries addition to this update. No 2025 real life liveries. if you're enthusiastic about them and if you have all the rights to use the logos, to use the designs of the car, you can create it yourself. But again, I think you might be in licensing trouble if you just create a 2025 livery without permission of the manufacturer. Let's see if they fixed it. I think they made the car overall more tricky to drive in the first place. I will probably have my hands full to keep it driving straight, because remember, the setup is still something for a Ferrari that was to be slip-slided around. Nothing that we do anymore. So I think regardless of what I'm doing with a car behind ahead of me in Eau Rouge, I think I might die regardless here. Maybe if we just up DC by 2 clicks, power cut by 7 clicks, brake bar is a tap for the front, ABS is fine, maybe then the car is also fine. The Sonicate, the new tire model update is brilliant, because what Marbix and Longterm will complain about it, because I remember he complained about the way iRacing is driving, right? That you have to underdrive so much and you can't really, like he likes to call it, sweat the car into the turn. You can't throw it into the turn, you can't fight with the car in the turn. The same will apply from the more Ultimate from tomorrow onwards as well. You can do it, but you will be slow with it because you're sliding the car. And a sliding car will mean very low and slow lap times. So for that reason, you shouldn't do it. This is the maximum that you shall do it, because otherwise you're just going to die. Also in the low speed turns, your rear oversteers. The only thing that you can do really is try and fight not to lose it. Yeah, Darian, the car might not be dead after one slide here. On Le Mans Ultimate, that will be much more lenient and forgiving, but generally speaking, to be really quick with it, as we just missed the Lexus out of the pits in Eau Rouge. Well, let's see. I need to see whether I survive Eau Rouge first without any car ahead of me anyway. And the answer to that is yes, with a slight lift into Eau Rouge itself. The Lexus still on cold tires, so we'll just go in. I did catch a fly mid-corner, yeah. But again, what Marbix likes to do is also throw the car into the turn, and you can't do this anymore. You have to underdrive it a bit. You have to rotate the car with the front. If you start rotating the car with the rear, you may as well just spin. Yeah, also throttle with a good amount of traction control will create more understeer, which is very great. It's not like you can step out the tire. And again, if you step out with the rear for rotation, you have all loads full to do to just catch the car, as you've seen. We're not speaking about lap time anymore when you're trying to catch a car, as you have seen perfectly. The moment the rear goes, you're fighting to keep it on the track. You have the possibility to keep it on the track. This does slightly damage, but not kill the tires overall. So you still have good performance. Obviously, if you do it every lap, then there is no tire performance left after 15 laps. But it's not like iRacing where you straight away kill the car, where you cannot use the car at all anymore. But again, you have to be very precise, and when tires are warmed up, the car is on the edge here. So, we're waiting on the Lexus to come, and hope that the Lexus is able to go through Eau Rouge at high speeds. Without any brake into the turn. I will have to leave a little bit of space, I think. But this is close enough. So, will we survive or will we die? I hope the Lexus doesn't apply the brakes into a Rouge. I would say it's fixed. I'll give you another lap with me having a bit more of a gap to the Lexus. But I think they fixed the Ferrari into a Rouge in the draft. What they've not fixed, well, not fixed, what I've not fixed in the setup, it being way too oversteery. The long run driving. It rotates too much on the back. So, oof. Yeah, I can catch the slide, but as you can see I had to lift off the throttle, take all my available brain cells to catch the car. And if I don't do it, this happens. I need to find a different victim than that. Ah, there is more victims coming, great. Aston, what? Oh, I have no rear wing. F. Yeah. So we return to garage. We have a fixed car. We take the used tire. Because finally I can show you again the used tire. Still has the temperature of 71 degrees. I have a fixed car. I'm out on the old tires again. All I need to do now is perfectly time a car coming. And this is perfect. So even if you screw up a stint, smash the car. Yep, the Ferrari is fixed, I would say. Anyway, have you seen the tires still have the temperatures 73 degrees because I've turned them on used. Yes, they do have the slide, they do have a flat spot, but generally the tires are still alive. Tires are still up to heat. It's not like I have to go out again on a fresh set of tires necessarily, going through the heat up process. And we're trying to do this a bit more condensed, so I'm trying to follow the McLaren. Yeah, sliding, and you see immediately have to fight it. As much as I keep it pinned, I have to let the TC engaged, get the car straight again, and we lose straight momentum towards the McLaren ahead of us. Careful here. Yeah, again, my setup is not optimized for the new tire models. I won't use the wet tires now, this is way too much, but I assume with the overall chassis of the Ferrari now being fixed, I would assume this is fine. Do the old tires slowly lose the grip while sitting in garage? The yes, they do slightly lose the... This is the last thing that I'm probably able to show now. First of all, I'm gonna try getting back on that McLaren so we can go through Eau Rouge in full sense. Fuck. Yeah. Limitations. But it doesn't matter because there's more cars coming. I've just lit up the rear too much. More Lexus. Let's go for that double. For that double draft. Some cars coming here. And let's see if my tire temperatures have come down enough. Guys, I shift quickly the scene. Have a look at the tire temperatures. 82.2, 92.2. We return to garage. We pick tires. A fresh set, so they are still available as being used. 11 degrees ambient temperature. You can see that in the bottom left. What I'm going to do now is I select my old mediums that we can see here for a pit stop. Then I quickly will go around the track. Also, track limits. You've seen I have been cutting the pit blend line. Great penalty. Very nice indeed. So pit, that is meant with the pit lane cut rules. When you come out of the pit low and you're disobeying the white line, you get a straight penalty, which is amazing. Gergo, Bilansky and Wrecker, thank you very much for your subscriptions on the YouTube channel. Yeah, and guys, if you want to find out more about the latest updates of Le Mans Ultimate, then please subscribe us on the YouTube channel, follow us on Twitch, give the stream a thumbs up, and check out the Simracing news and updates playlist, where you find out my thoughts about this particular update. As we're also coming to do more racing this week on Le Mans Ultimate, racing the new tires, racing the new GT3s, and maybe also designing a little bit more liveries. That is the next lap isn't validated is crazy indeed, but this is nothing. Ooh, hang on a minute, stay with me. Wait, before I completely F this up. Invulnerability on. But I still got damage. Q&A bug report. I need to bug report this. Leonard Hinz, thank you so much for your subscription on the YouTube channel. Anyway, I quickly, yes, disable the repair all. You guys remember the temperatures, right? Front 82 degrees, rears 92 degrees once we drop them off. I need to reselect the tires. Bear with me. Used mediums. Let's see how the Ferrari is through Blanchiment. Understeer, much more understeer. Remember, we almost lost the car every time we got there in clean air. So this update working perfectly. The Ferrari is fixed in that regard. Anyway, we box for the old tires. And we are checking tire temperature on the left hand side. 50, 54 and 60 from the tires we got currently on. Remember, we had 82 degrees and 92 degrees on the left hand side, but from the old tire coming to a hold, getting the old tires on 52 degrees and 57.8 degrees remaining from the old tire. You saw we got the old wear, we got the old tire back on, and the moment we get out of pit road, also here we still have a clutch that obviously we've spoken about too. Anyway, I'll just take turn 1, and you see we have much more grip available than what we would have had with the new tires that are cold. Perfect. So we fixed the Ferrari, we've shown how the new tire model is working and what new pit feature we have with the tires being simulated in the backyard. So that means the moment you throw off the tire and it goes back to the backyard, the game also simulates how the ambient temperature is cooling the tire down, and if you put it back on, how the tire will still behave. And now we're in the race. We have the number 1. I don't know why number 1 instead of number 10. And we have the MH10 Stream Team here. So we start driving and we can see already that our livery this time is applied to the car. The livery number template probably doesn't work correctly yet, but we see that we do have an MH10 well, a broken MH10 livery on the car. So this is how it works. Apparently it seems to not work in the practice. It should work in the practice there. Perhaps also still a bug. But yeah, this is how custom liveries are going to be applied, and that you can race it in daily races. So, and since we're coming towards the end of the stream, I would like you guys to note a couple of things about this update. As much as I've shown you literally everything that I know which is worth looking at, I would still appreciate if you guys bear one thing in mind. This update has been delayed. It was due to come in May already, and it has been delayed till June 10th, which has probably multiple reasons. One, iRacing is bringing an update. Two, there is the real Le Mans race going on this weekend, or this upcoming week. So I assume it is, from a PR POV, that was the thing they could agree on. So why has this update been delayed? We've seen a video from Stephen Hood saying there is a lot of stuff happening on the backside. We have know about they have to rewrite the entire code of driver swaps and team functionalities. Remember, in rFactor 2, when you wanted to do team driving, you just spectated the car you were driving for, which literally could be any car. So you could also have joined your competitors as a spectator. And then the driver had to select you, and it's only you that were able to go and only able to jump onto the car if selected in the pit menu. Le Mans Ultimate will handle this differently, where you on sign up have to sign up as a team just like on iRacing, and then the only thing that you can do is drive the car that you have been signed up with, which means your manager signs up the car and you have to be on the lineup being put there by a manager. That is how you can multi-class the races, or how you can do driver swaps with your teammates in the race. However, that means this is a total different infrastructure to the way driver swaps are handled, as in comparison to what we know from rFactor 2. And as we know, rFactor 2 has been the core starting point for Le Mans Ultimate in terms of its entire engine. This is a significant difference to how things are going to be working in the future from here on. And this also means, remember, we got team functionalities: driver, engineer, manager, and owner. These functionalities, they need to work on the platform not only for a server to be fetched, but for the overall entire system to be working around with that. And this is important, that this is emphasized when we are looking into that update. They've not only brought in team functionalities, they've also brought in driver swaps and custom liveries to work in. However, there obviously was a reason why this had been delayed, and I'm just afraid that as much as this has been delayed, this has now also been the date where the update has to come, which also means we will probably fight a couple amount of bugs around this entire system. And I really want you guys to emphasize this. As much as we are looking forward to driver swaps, they will be only available on limited events and probably 100% governed by Studio 397. So probably there will be more updates coming in the background, and as soon as they are confident about its stability, they will roll it out to the entire game, including championships, including hosted servers, and so on. But in the meanwhile, we have to probably expect and also respect that there might be a couple of more bugs left, right, and center, just like with the livery, that it's not showing up on the practice server, that it's now here showing up not with the right numbers template, and so on. And I really hope that you guys have a little bit of patience with Studio 397 and MSG, because generally you have to see the speed and quality. This team has delivered content, additions to Le Mans Ultimate, development to Le Mans Ultimate, progress within Le Mans Ultimate in the last 25-30 months. Remember, there was also a period where they had to develop it before giving it out in early access. But since it's out in early access, the speed, quality, amount and frequency of high-class updates, fixing various issues, fixing a lot of bugs, has been unseen in the industry, in my opinion. Look how long iRacing takes to bring core updates and core feature updates to their simulation. And then they update it every 3 months, no matter what, mostly. We really need to appreciate the speed and quality of the Studio 397 team and have to applaud for all the progress. And this is not something that I say because I have to. Thankfully, I'm not contracted to anyone. It's just my personal opinion on what these guys are doing with that game, which is magnificent. And I know there will be a couple of people coming on the fence being like, oh yeah, there are driver swaps now, they sign up, they don't find a team race, and then like, yeah, I refund this because I've been tricked or whatever. And this is especially why I say this. It has been made public and it has been addressed that this update will come with new functionalities, but at the same time also limited to a certain area. And this certain area is probably for a reason, right? And we should respect that, as much as we probably will complain again that we're playing an early access game with more DLC and they're asking more money for it and so on, blah blah blah. I think it's fair. And I think we have to respect that this is still under development after all, right? GS Simracing, yes, the LMP2 gets a tire update as well. Yes, this is a 49-inch screen. Tire sound still broken? I don't know what you mean by the tire sound is still broken. There is an updated curb sound now, which you might feel is broken because it's loud or whatever. My field of view is my calculated optimum, which you can find in one of my tutorial videos on the YouTube channel. Anyway, guys, I'm bringing this to an end. The only reason why I'm doing the laps now here in the BMW is because I also want to see where it sits compared to the Lexus and to the Lambo. Although I may have to admit that this is lower grip levels than what I've used in my offline sessions before. I have no G9. I would love to have a G9 monitor, but I personally would take an ultra widescreen over triples for convenience reasons and setup and everything. Ike Sky, thank you so much for thresholding again the Discord invitation link. If you guys are appreciating the video, if you want to see more of Le Mans Ultimate and join our community in the backyard, then please follow that link on the exclamation mark Discord. Appears to be that it's not responding, so maybe I need to squawk it out. Oh, it's an online event, I can't. Yeah, it didn't work. Ike, did you see the Discord link in the description of the video? I'm trying to squawk the Discord. I effed it up. Ah, now here comes the Stream Elements link. There you go. I hope the Stream Elements link also goes through to the YouTube channel, as I'm having one more lap to do here, and we call it a day. BMW M4 drives really, really nice. Very well balanced. Ike Sky, thank you for the follow on Twitch. Appreciate it. It doesn't come through. Yeah, but in the video description you should have a link that's clickable and works, I hope. I think in the upcoming weekend I'll try to do a video about a small feedback or my ideas and my resolutions on the update. I think it's a bit too much to just catch up on it right here after the stream. and I will also want to take the entire week to explore the system a bit more thoroughly. Yeah. And once again, guys, I can only hope that you've enjoyed the stream. If you did so, please give a thumbs up on the video. Subscribe us on the YouTube channel. Follow us on Twitch. And make this community grow. I would like to say a big massive thank you to all of you for joining tonight. And I would like to say a big massive thank you for all of you that pushed this channel over 13,000 insane subscribers. One of my favorite handball arena here in Germany is the SAP arena, and when it's maxed out it carries 13,255 people. And it's just insane that if I would invite all subscribers and all of them would come, we could fill that arena, which is an insane feeling. You have been booted, race session is over. Here we go. Anyway, guys, that's it. We've seen the livery has worked. We've seen how a livery is still applied. We have obviously not had an official race, but this is how it works. And this is how the game is working. So for the remainder of our ending condolences words, we'll quickly come back to the liveries that we have applied. Yeah, Raskolina, actually the Rhein-Neckar-Löwen, but it's about handball that they are playing the SAP arena as well. So here are the liveries that we've so far been applied. Let's not talk about the GT3s, they will be fixed. The Suana K, thank you so much. And for those that wanna join the Discord, and I hope that the link itself is working. Let me quickly check if the link itself is working, or whether the link itself is broken. Yes, that works. Awesome. Nice. So here's the link for those of you that want to be in our Discord community. Yeah, we take it to an end. Handball match with all subscribers. That would be good fun. Would be good fun indeed. Is it available at midnight in the USA? Drip Skywalker, I would assume it is available tomorrow by the end of noon. So probably 2 or 3 p.m.-ish your time. So that's probably going to be the scale. Anyway, guys, I hope you will enjoy the update. Once again, please be patient with the studio. There might be new bugs appearing. Keep reporting them bugs, keep them sending the data. The more the community, the more we hand in data and bug reports, the quicker the studio will be able to get them out of the way and improve our experience in the game. So that is a really important message from me in the end. Apart from that, guys, I'm really overwhelmed with your support, with your appearance today, with your yeah, with you enjoying the stream, hopefully. I thank you for a legendary evening. We see each other tomorrow when the update is out on more running. And till then, guys, I hope you've had a great evening. I hope you sleep well. One more sleep, one more night, then we all can access the update. We all can enjoy the custom liveries in the daily races, hopefully. And I think on that note, guys, it's time to end here. Thank you very much for your time. Again, if you appreciate this, please give the stream a thumbs up, subscribe to the YouTube channel, follow us on Twitch. We will come back with more streaming and more videos about Le Mans Ultimate in the near future. Till then, have a good one. Have a great night. We're going to have a raid on Twitch, guys. So let's see if someone is still able to on with some Le Mans Ultimate. Until then, we have a great evening. Guys, see you and bye-bye.